Welcome to a new video, and I'm a bit sorry about the last one. It was a bit rushed, but in this video I am going to show you something I am going to build, or I already built it with Cursor. So that's a project I want to document and share because it's something that I want to use on my own. So let's pack up and head to the office. Okay, so I am at the office now, and I just got this new MX Master because the Apple Magic Mouse is so bad for my arm. But this is a leather mat, so it's really hard to use the mouse. So let's unpack the new big mouse pad, which I will have instead of this leather one. Way better. Doesn't look as nice, but this is work, so of course it needs to be very nice. Let's have a look. I think it's all right, even though it's not the leather one, but it's gonna be way nicer to work now. Okay, I'm ready now, and it's actually a Sunday. I took some time off Friday, or I went home a bit earlier to hang out with some friends. So today I will have to be working maybe 2.5 hours for some clients, but in this video, I really want to show you what I'm building, and let me know if you want me to document the journey. Right now, I am using something called Cursor, so let's jump on the computer. I don't know how I should document this in the best way, but personally, I think it's nice actually showing some of the things. So let's jump on the computer. Let me know in the comments how you want me to document this journey. Okay, so now we are on the computer, and as you can see, this is Cursor, and I'm not affiliated in any other way, but as you might have seen in some of the previous videos, I've tested out both ChatGPT, and I also tested out Lovable, and now I tested Cursor, and I must say this one is a game changer, especially because I really want to learn how to code. So being able to actually edit the code just like as if it was Visual Studio Code, the editor, is so much better for me. So I went ahead and downloaded it, and then it looks exactly like the VS Code, but on the right side you have a chat where you can ask questions, and you also have a composer which will do all of the coding for you, so to say. So in this regard, I just wrote down a bunch of things. I could probably load some of the older ones, but the idea of the app is that, let me quickly show you, maybe it's easier then. So it's only running on my local server, so I can write down npm run dev, and then I will get my local URL. So if we go to that, this is the first page, and I've done no design at all, and that's also what I want to document, making it the UX better, doing research, interviewing people who could be potential users. But if you are a freelancer, this is for you, because as a freelancer it's actually very hard for you to keep track of how to sustain yourself, you need to pay your private budget, you need to pay business expenses, there might be tax in your country, and you also need to figure out how many hours are actually billable hours, so the hours that you can charge clients for. And you cannot just charge 160 hours if you work 40 hours a week. You also need to do bookkeeping, do content and stuff like that. So in this example, I am living in Denmark, and let's say I'm not getting that big of a salary, so it might not be exactly 40% in tax, but we live in a country where the tax is very high, so let's say 36%. Then I can have rent, groceries, whatever. This is something I just put in, but you can of course change it to whatever you want, and you're also able to add new items, but there is a bug right now. If I then continue, this is the private budget. I can do the company budget, and here I can also change it to being a yearly one, and this all comes down to the calculations for the app. So the company budget, I know it says monthly here, it shouldn't, or at least it should say that we will average it out, but you can have a lot of different expenses as a company. Then you continue. So this is the hourly rate. So in dollars it could be, I don't know, let's say $50, and you have billable hours per day is 6 hours. So for 6 hours a day you can actually work on client project. In Denmark we have a VAT rate for 25% on like most of the purchases. So you can say that this is not included, the VAT, and then you can say you want to say that this number is included. Yeah, this is where UX come in and where I really need to enhance it. But let's just say this, we say save all. Right now the currency is in Danish. I can change it to US dollars. The amount might be a bit crazy right now. So if we change it back to my currency, you can see I have an amount here which is what I need to sustain myself. So this accounts for the private expenses and the business expenses on a monthly average. So I need to sell for this amount each month to sustain myself, and based on the hourly rate I set for myself, I need to sell 43 billable hours in order to sustain myself. But you also need to pay for your own time off and for the sick days. So I made a table where you can add time off. So let's say I will have vacation tomorrow and Tuesday, or at least this is how it is in my country. You can add the time, and now you can see this is actually adding the cost of not being able to work for those 2 days, which is 12 hours of work that could have been billable. And it will also add that to the minimum amount to sustain. And you can do the same for a sick day. Then we have the yearly overview. So when you hover, you can see the required is the minimum amount to sustain, to actually being able to sustain yourself. And then the revenue is without the tax or with tax, you can see that. And then down here, you can see how many of your billable hours you actually sold, or at least booked. So 106 hours, so I still have a few left. Maybe I should add how many left you have instead of how many are available, because that is not true. And then you can see the average rate, because even though you set a rate up here in the beginning, you might sell a project for less than you actually want, because you just really want the project, for example. But when you add projects, it will make sure that it goes over several months. If you add something where it will show you, let's say from 13th of February to 13th of March, then it will of course go over several months. And Then you also get an overview of how many of your yearly capacity has been sold out, and you can also see the financial runway. So you can see in February in this example that was sold for way more than you actually needed to sustain yourself, and therefore you can actually sustain yourself for longer, as long as you only need these amounts for actually sustaining yourself. So of course, if you want to increase the salary, then the runway won't be as long. So I think the next project, or at least the next video where I will document it, I will try to make the UI way better, because I think it gives a great overview, but I also really like doing the design, of course. That's what I do. And I also really want to make a great landing page so I can create a waitlist to see if anybody else is interested or if it's just me. And then of course I need to learn a lot from speaking to potential users of this platform, so other freelancers. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I can see my camera is also running out of battery, so this is the new project I am trying to make and document, because it's something I will actually use. So subscribe if you want to see one of the next videos where I will hopefully do some of the design, but for now I need to do some client work.